Hi, I'm Greg Goodrich, executive producer of Medal of Honor, and you're watching Atomix. So yeah, the reboot of Medal of Honor. So, you know, EA has been making Medal of Honor games for 11 years, and they've always been set in World War II. And you know, for the first time, we decided to tell a new story, a new set of stories, and you know, about the Tier 1 operator. And you know, they happen to be operating in Afghanistan. And so, as always, you know, this is a story about characters, about individuals, about honoring a certain community with you know, respect and authenticity. And so when we decided to reboot the franchise, we decided to tell the story of these guys and honor them. And, you know, we told a lot of stories during World War II, but we never felt that World War II defined Medal of Honor. You know, honor is something that is just consistent, and so that's what we decided to do. So with the different characters and the different players, you know, the sledgehammer represented by the U.S. Army Ranger, you know, that overwhelming ground-pounding nature of a U.S. Army Ranger, those overwhelming, you know, force multipliers, and the Tier 1 operators, you know, the more deliberate, the more surgical, precise scalpel. You know, we wanted to show that how those two groups intermingle and how they're you know, totally dependent on each other. You know, the U.S. Army Rangers, the sledgehammer, big military needs the Tier 1 operators to get in and get intelligent, and identify targets, and do their thing in a very surgical and precise way. And you know, they absolutely rely on big military, the sledgehammer, for support, and when they need that force multiplier, you know, so that we show how they intermingle, and they're completely dependent upon one another. You know, Medal of Honor is a single story thread, a single narrative that goes back and forth between the two sides, and shows how they work together and operate together in a theater of war. Yeah, we've had absolutely unprecedented access to these guys, and they've been very, very helpful in not only helping us define what this new Medal of Honor is in the early stages, meaning, you know, finding our story, what types of characters, but it came down to mindset as well. You know, these guys aren't just well-equipped, you know, genetically superior individuals. They're highly intelligent individuals, and they bring a certain mindset and a certain work ethic that just literally, whenever they show up in the studio and interact with a team, it just makes people want to work harder and do better and be better, because they instill that mindset into everything that we do. It's been absolutely fascinating and rewarding, personally rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever been associated with, and just being able to interact with these individuals and getting to know them, and that translates into the game, where, you know, because we just want to honor them and honor their community. So the decision to go with 2 different teams and 2 engines, you know, was a pretty easy decision, actually, to tell you the truth. It's you know, especially with a reboot of a franchise, and especially in the shooter genre, you have to show up with quality. You absolutely have to show up with quality. Otherwise, there's no point of showing up at all. And so the best way we knew how to get quality on both sides was to employ 2 separate teams. A team here in Los Angeles that's 100% dedicated to single player, and a team in Sweden at DICE, a world-class team at DICE, to work on multiplayer. And you know, they're very good at what they do. And so we knew it would be in capable hands. And so, but what that gives the consumer, because the consumer doesn't care, you know, how many people work on a title, or how long it takes, or how much money you spend on a title. The consumer just wants it to be great. And so, again, the best way we knew how to do that was to get 2 fully staffed teams concentrating on what they do best for this one product. And sure, there's differences in the technology and the engines and certain things, but we're embracing that. We're embracing the fact that hey, let's just spend our time and our resources and our money just making a great game. And, you know, hopefully that, you know, we'll have a successful reboot and players will love it. And quite frankly, you know, the Medal of Honor fan, you know, they deserve this. They deserve a great game, and hopefully we'll give it to them. So, yeah, I wouldn't say there's never going to be another World War II game. I mean, you know, I just think for now we're concentrating on Tier 1 operator and the current fight in Afghanistan. But absolutely, it was a complete reset, not only for the franchise, but you know, when you move to a different time frame, you know, you got to start from scratch. You got to build everything from scratch, and you know, you're talking about new weapons, new gear, new tactics, new environments, new everything. And so, you know, it's all a part of the experience of you know, doing your research, the right, you know, sort of ideas and stories, and you know, you figure out what story you want to tell, and then everything else just kind of falls into place as long as you have you know, access to those things that provide good reference. And you know, we've had it from all sorts of things. You know, we've taken our cues from a lot of different places, as well as, most importantly, these Tier 1 operators who have spent time in the studio and shared their stories and their photographs. And you know, they don't let us keep any of that stuff, but they share it with us. And you know, like I said, our goal, our intent, is to do it with a certain tone that honors them, because that, quite frankly, is what this is all about, and what Medal of Honor has always been about. Oh goodness. Well, you know, like I said, we're just concentrating on the work, right? And for the most part, it's that through the gun experience. It's the core of every great shooter. You know, shooters are one of the easiest games to make technically, right? They're easy to make, but they're one of the hardest games to get absolutely just perfect, right? It's that through the gun experience, you know, getting on your gun and having it feel right and smooth and playable. And if you don't get that right, nothing else matters. And so we've spent a lot of time on that through the gun experience. We've spent a lot of time on our environments. You know, we have I believe, some of the best rendering engineers in the world, and they've done just a fantastic job of getting our visuals to a place where they need to be, and our storytelling. We're really happy. We're really proud of the way our story unfolds. You know, the cinematic experience that you get in this historical fiction, right? It's based on individuals, inspired by individuals, but it's a band of fictional characters going through a historical event. So we're really proud of that as well.
I'll be home soon.